Welcome all students for the Pharmaceutics 2 lecture Incompatibility. I am Mrs. Sabashik, Senior Lecturer, Pharmaceutics Department, MC Societies, Institute of Pharmacy, Azam Campus, Pune. Today we are going to see the part 2 of chapter Incompatibility. Learning outcomes. After completing the session, the learner will be able to define chemical incompatibility, enlist type of chemical incompatibility, and able to understand concept of precipitate forming liquids. Let's begin with chemical incompatibility. Now, the definition is when two or more than two substances are combined together. Two or more than two substances are combined together, the chemical reaction occurs. When these two compounds react together, chemical reaction occurs and as a result, toxic or inactive product may be formed. This is called as chemical incompatibility. While dispensing such prescriptions, precaution should be taken either to prevent the formation of harmful products or to correct them, and prescriber must be informed in this regards. Means pharmacist should understand there is a chemical incompatibility in the given prescription so that he can convey the message to the prescriber, means to the doctor, regarding this chemical incompatibility. Chemical incompatibilities often occur due to three main types. First is oxidation reduction reactions, second acid-base hydrolysis reaction, and third combination reactions. These reactions may be noticed by what this means. If there is a chemical incompatibility and one of these three reactions is happening into the product, we can identify it by first precipitation. We can see effervescence in the product. We can see there is a decomposition into the product. We can see color change, and sometimes explosions also takes place as a result of chemical incompatibility. Types of chemical incompatibilities. As we have seen in the part 1 of incompatibilities as a physical incompatibility, we have seen 4 different types of that particular physical incompatibility. That is immiscibility, insolubility, precipitation, etc. Similarly, again in this chemical incompatibilities, we have types. There are 4 types: tolerated, adjusted, intentional, unintentional. What do you mean by tolerated? So what we mean by tolerated incompatibility? In tolerated incompatibilities, the chemical interaction can be minimized by changing the order of mixing or mixing the solutions in the dilute form. This is important. We can use the dilute forms, but no alteration can be made into the formulation. That is called as tolerated. What do you mean by adjusted? As the name indicates, adjustment. In this incompatibility, the chemical interaction can be prevented by addition or substitution of one of the reactive ingredients of the prescription with another of equal therapeutic value. Here, the pharmacist have a freedom to choose any of the reactant substance. Reactant substance means the substance which causing chemical incompatibility. So if there are two components which are react with each other and form harmful product, one of that reacting substance can be added or substituted by the pharmacist to avoid the incompatibility. That is called as adjusted chemical incompatibility. Next is intentional incompatibility. Intentional means when the prescriber, that is doctor, knowingly prescribes the incompatible drugs. When the doctor is knowingly giving such type of incompatibilities, because in some cases, poisoning cases, or doctor needs precipitation into the product, then they give this intentional incompatibility into the prescription. What do you mean by unintentional now? When the prescriber prescribes the drugs without knowing that there is an incompatibility between the prescribed drug. These 2 are 3 and 4 types are exactly opposite to each other. In third type, doctors know that there is an incompatibility, and in unintentional, the doctor don't know that what he is writing into the prescription. There are 2, 3 or more than that drug. 2 of that can react with each other, that it is not knowing, but it can be identified by the by the pharmacist, and we can make it correct by giving the information to the prescriber. So these are 4 types of chemical incompatibilities: tolerated, adjusted, intentional and unintentional. First, precipitate yielding interactions. Now, it is more important that you should understand what type of interactions these are and what precautions or what solutions we can find out for these interactions. The very common rule, these are 2 important rules you have to remember for this particular topic. That you should understand, when we are using strong solutions, the rate of the reactions will be fast. And if the rate of reaction will be fast, there will be a thick precipitate formation. And this thick precipitate formation will be always indiffusible type. Okay, I am repeating again. When one are using strong solutions for reactions, the rate of the reaction will be fast. If the rate of reaction will be fast, thick precipitate will form, and that thick precipitate is always indiffusible in type. Exactly opposite to this, when we use dilute solutions, the rate of the reaction will be slow, and if the rate of reaction will be slow, there will be lightweight precipitate will form. This lightweight precipitate is always in diffusible form. Okay, so in this 2, what we are going to choose? So hence, the reacting substances should be diluted to the maximum extent before mixing. So second rule is more applicable to avoid any kind of incompatibilities, as if there is a precipitate forming and that precipitate is light in weight and diffusible, means if the product is having precipitate, you can shake the bottle and shake the product continuously so that all the precipitate can be diffused throughout the liquid and accurate dosage can be taken out from the container. So mostly the dilute solutions are preferred over strong solutions whenever there is possible. There are 2 methods to handle these precipitate forming interactions, method A and method B. What is method A? In this method, there is a diffusible precipitate is formed in small quantity. Means whenever if you have any kind of prescription, you are making the product and you can find that product is having a precipitate, but that precipitate is in small quantity and indiffusible type. So in that case, you are going to follow method A. And when we are going to follow method B, when the formed precipitate is indiffusible type and in a large quantity, then we have to go for method B. Suitable quantity of compound tragacanth powder is used or mucilage is used to overcome these interactions. Now you should always remember that whenever you are using tragacanth powder, it is always in a 2% form. That is, if your solution is of 100 ml, you always take 2 gram of the tragacanth powder. Or if you have your solution more than that and you can have to use mucilage, then always remember that whatever product you are having, 1/4 of that quantity you can take mucilage. And the secondary important is what? The labeling should be shake well before use on the container is must. So a secondary label shake well before use should be fixed on the container whenever method A or method B is followed. This is important chart. You can write it down in your book and make a practice to write it again and again, so that in the exam it will be easy for you to write this method A and method B in a less time period. Apart from explaining in detail, you can make this flow chart which will be easily available in your book. You can read it and write down onto the exam paper. You will get the good marks. So method A and method B. Method A, as we have seen in the last slide, that is for diffusible precipitate, and method B is for indiffusible precipitate. What is the difference? First we are going to see method A. Here, if you have a vehicle into the product in your prescription, that prescription vehicle you have to divide into 2 parts. So half quantity here and half quantity here. If there is a 100 ml of vehicle, 50 ml in one beaker, 50 ml in another beaker. In one beaker, you can add reacting substance 1 and that mix it thoroughly. In another beaker, you can add vehicle and reacting substance 2. mix it thoroughly, and then now you can mix it, these two things, and final mixing with rapid stirring. Similarly, in method B, we have to divide the vehicle in two parts, but part 1 is completely same as method A, but you can see here in part B, method B, in another half quantity of vehicle, you have to add first tragacanth powder and then add vehicle. It will form a smooth paste. So in this smooth paste, you have to add the reacting substance second and then mix it, and then part 1 of vehicle and part 2 of vehicle can be mixed for a final mixing with rapid stirring. In both the cases, we are going to have precipitate, but method A will give a lightweight precipitate and method B will give a heavy, thick precipitate. So in both the cases, what we have to do, have to write, shake the bottle before use, should be fixed on the container whenever this method A or method B is followed. This is important slide. Again, I am telling you to write it down and mug it up, or remember this thoroughly, because it will not create any kind of confusion in chemical incompatibility, as physical and therapeutic incompatibilities are in less quantity and you can able to recall it easily. But in the chemical incompatibility, there are many incompatibilities we are going to coming across in the syllabus. So I have, for your easy lookout, I have given in a 4 part. So today we are going to see this part, that is chemical incompatibility because of alkaloidal incompatibility, soluble salicylate incompatibility, evolution of carbon dioxide incompatibility, and miscellaneous incompatibilities. In first alkaloidal, there are again subpart A, B, C, D, E, that is alkaloids are there always in all these 5 types. So alkaloids react with alkaloidal substances, alkaloids with soluble iodide, alkaloids with tannins, alkaloids with salicylates, alkaloids with bromides. All these can react with alkaloid, and there will be the product are forming which are harmful, or we can manage it to be good for the preparation. So in the next slide, next session rather, we can going to complete this alkaloidal incompatibility and these 5 subparts. Till that, you can study the whatever slides we have studied today in this session, incompatibility part 2, so that you can easily understand the coming session, that is incompatibility part 3. Thank you very much for this session.